Hello everyone, author DL Tillery here, the Mistress of Horror, and welcome back to my channel. Before we get started, how about you press that subscribe button, give this video a like, and ring that bell so you know when I'm uploading new videos. This is the September podcast. It's coming at the last skated in moment possible because of my schedule has been crazy and a lot of things going on in my personal life. But I still managed to try to sit down and do this podcast just to let you know what's happening with the channel. Some things I wanted to talk about just that's been going on because that's what podcasts are for. So as you know, projects that's coming up for me that I'm in the midst of, I am going to be in the Lurking in the Dark anthology, HorrorTube anthology by Regina St. Clair. I did get in this one as well, but you will only be getting a poem from me this time around. You'll still have to wait a little bit longer to get another of my newer short horror stories, which I will talk about in a minute. The other project that I am in is a erotic anthology, YouTube erotic anthology by Aphrodite Lee. That one I finished. I have stories in. I have rewritten them. I am actually sending them off again, following the guidelines of the project, for them to get reassessed again. And with those two stories being done, that's another project that I am in that's coming next year. It's not going to come out until then, but it's earlier next year, so keep your eye on that. I'll give more information as it gets closer. The other thing I'm working on personally to focus on for us my writing projects is my horror collection, which plans to have about 6 short horror stories in that collection. And that's one of the main ones I'm really focusing on finishing, because I really have to sit down and finish the last story for that one. And then I have to do rewrites and such before I do a alpha run. And then I have to get notes back for that, and then do the beta run, and then there's notes back from that, and do any other rewrites. So it's still a process of finishing all of that. I have it in my head to finish all of those processes for this specific collection by year's end. So this horror collection of mine won't be releasing probably until the spring, I would say. I have it also in my head for my dark romance poetry collection that's been in a while in the makings to release possibly before that collection, because poetry is more simpler to deal with. Not many people are editing in that one. It doesn't have to go through all the changes that full stories do or short stories do. That being said, you could see something releasing from me in winter of 23, early 23, and then spring, and then Caliostro. I'm planning possibly for a summer release. Right now is in my head, as far as like the marketing and the money and all those things. So that's where I'm at right now. So those are kind of 3 projects back to back. Plus I have other projects, writing projects that's on the back burner because of timing and trying to get the other ones out and things like that. So that's where I am with projects at the moment. Now, moving on to the second segment. This isn't writing related, but it is something I want to talk about because it's going to be a project that's going to be using writing. There is a woman that is from more of my dance community side that is going through a very tough time right now. She is fighting a very aggressive breast cancer and fighting for her life. She has had fundraisers. We're trying to all raise money for her to get her treatments, which I think is the terriblest thing in the world, that mankind has decided that we have to pay to live. If something is a disease is in our body hurting us, and then we don't help each other, we have to have money first. And you're like, well, those people have professions. That's besides the point. If we just had our society built better, this would not be an issue, that someone literally can be turned away from treatment because they don't have the money and the insurance does not cover everything. So I get very emotional, upset about that, because my own father passed away from a very rare lung disease when I was younger, and it was a lot of times to do with the money and treatments and things like that he couldn't get because of that. And we did the best we could to keep him alive with what we had, which really my mother fought with him, and did keep him alive for 5 years when it was a disease that could have killed him in 9 months. So, granted, you know, he had okay health care because he was a vet, but you know how they treat vets anyway, not very well. He had to go through the VA, which is also terrible, but that's a whole nother conversation. But just leading back to this woman I know, her name is Nayna, is her dance name, Denise Hobbs, and I'm going to put the links to her GoFundMe in the description, but I am planning to do a fundraiser in the writing community to help raise money for this woman, because I met her through socials, through dance, and I believe in fighting for every person, especially when we know about it. It's really boggling to my mind. $1, $5 from each person that hears a person's story could save their life. And just the look and the deaf ears that these messages fall on people, and they rather give money to anything else that's not even to do with someone's life. It's really tear-jerking and upsetting that this is mankind. Like, we don't help each other. We'll fund someone making a folded piece of paper that flips or something like that before we fund a person's literal life. Like, I really still can't get over that. So it's really discerning the way people can be. So I wanted to talk about this and bring up the fact that I'm going to do a fundraiser. Anybody who hears this that is a AuthorTube author, or people who follow my channel, if you're interested in helping with this fundraiser, then please shoot me a message, because I am looking for AuthorTubers who have books. So I'm going to try to put a fundraiser together of us putting our books in a collection, in books and bookmarks, whatever writerly things you have that you be willing to donate to the fundraiser. And we're going to sell raffle tickets, and then people who pay in the raffle, all the proceedings will go to her fund. If you want to find out more about her and her story, you can go on her GoFundMe. She posts on there every day that she can when she is not, too sick to post. But she lets people know what's going on with her and what's going on with it. She does have some donations in, but she's going to constantly need the donations to come in. And the more donations we get, then she can keep getting her treatments. And they have a certain amount that they have to give her. And so I'm trying to help her get as much money raised as possible. So I'm reaching out to my writer community to do this. So hopefully let's help each other and keep other humans alive. I don't understand, again, how people can turn a blind eye. I understand that everybody's in their own setting and not everybody has money, but even just to share the person's GoFundMe, to tell another person that could help or could hear about it, or just to buy a raffle ticket when we have people doing fundraisers and things like that. Even if the person gave $1 or $5, if everybody just had that kind of mind and concept, then we really could help each other when we're in need. You know what I mean? So anyway, I'm going to put up a video about it, about getting stuff together and getting it together, and see who will be interested in helping and donating, like their book, their own personal book. If you're an author tuber, or if you are a person who is a book tuber and you collect books too, and you want to donate a book to the fundraiser. So we're going to do a fundraiser where we're going to raffle off a awesome, book lovers, even writers can be book lovers package, where whoever, all the raffles tickets that you buy can give you a higher chance of winning. We're going to do a live drawing for it. I'm going to tell you the dates and stuff once we get people together who are willing to put and donate. I'm going to put my books in. I have other rare books because I'm a book collector. I can put those in, and we can put something together to help raise money for her. I have some people in the dance community that's also doing things. My dance shows that I had recently, we tried to raise money that way too, but she still needs help. So I'm going to put up a video specifically about that, but I did want to put it in my podcast because it is something on my roster to do in October. So, all right. So moving on to the next segment. October is almost here, and that means Halloween. I'm the Mistress of Horror, so obviously I have some things planned for the channel. So I'm going to be putting up videos every week based around Halloween and scary things, obviously. There will be more videos of Lair of the Mistress coming up, probably every week in October at least. And then I plan on having like some of my horror movie recommendation videos. We're gonna have some horror book things going on as well, and maybe some other surprises. So I'm going to be celebrating Halloween in October, like the whole month of October, and actually that's kind of like the channel is going to be very Halloween based, so a lot of things will be going on there. So that's what's going to be happening on there, and that's pretty much what my channel is. Very like kind of calm right now. I do put up videos like every 2 weeks, but October is going to be like every week. You know, on my channel I tend to pretty much am talking about like my books, and doing Lair of the Mistress is my newest series where I read one of my dark poems that's going to be probably presented in my dark horror romance collection that's going to be coming out. So I'm kind of preparing people for my release of that. So if you like what you hear, you'll probably like the book as well. And I'm probably going to release a audiobook version of my poetry collection. I'm probably going to do the audiobook for that, and I'm probably going to do the voiceover myself. So for that one specifically. But that's what the channel is going to be doing in October. So I'm really looking forward to that. Again, this month's podcast is really kind of simple and basic. I have a lot of other stuff going on right now that I'm dealing with, but I still want to do my channel. I'm still writing and still doing all that stuff, but I have a lot of other stuff on my plate, like all of us do, I'm sure. So yeah, it's been a very busy month. All right, so the last segment, what I purchased recently in books. I've been kind of getting back into my fantasy days, so I've gotten the new Dritz book, which I post usually when I get new books on my Instagram, but I got the new R.A. Salvatore's Glacier's Edge, and the Tao of Dritz, which is mostly a gathering of Dritz stuff, the different books that has come out over the years. I got both of those over the last couple months, and I bought, of course, a copy of Ben Pick's novel, Falling Through Into the Void, which is usually not my, the category I usually purchase books in, but it is very good. I did review it on Amazon and on Goodreads. Then I got the Liminal Zone by Junji Ito months ago. I got another copy, the next volume of the Berserk series, which of course is horror. All this stuff is horror. Well, those last two are horror. The other ones are fantasy. Which horror is my usual stick. As far as purchases, a lot of times I do buy fantasy. That's why I was saying I was getting back into buying my fantasy novels. But that's what I've been up to as far as my book purchases as of late. I've gotten some nonfiction books as of late, which is just writer-related stuff. Like to keep me on my toes type of situation. So that's what I've been doing, like, as far as book purchases. I have books pre-ordered, usually always by some of my favorite authors. Whenever they have something new coming out, I usually have it pre-ordered. So that's where I am on that. And yeah, that's what I've been doing. I haven't had much time to read. The latest thing I've read has been the first book in the Satyr series, which is an erotic series that is pretty interesting, to say the least. So I need to get on to book 2, which is Rain. I think book 2 is called Rain. So I need to read that one. The first one was Nicholas, I believe, and the second one I need to get started. Before I close this, I wanted to talk about that I'm going to probably be adding in horror movie reviews of horror movies I like. Because horror movies, you can watch bad horror movies and like it still. So I might do like start doing it on a Sunday, especially in October, where I review horror movies that I watched and then talk about them in a review. It would be kind of cool. And actually, maybe I'll do like horror makeup or something while I'm talking about the review. That'd be cool. So I did that for a minute with like reviewing something and doing makeup on my makeup channel, but I might just do it here, but keep it horror based and writing based. Anyway, This podcast ran a little longer than most of mine do. Usually I'm on like 20-something minutes. I'm already at the 30-minute mark. We'll see. I might be able to cut it down. But anyway, that's the podcast for this month. I will see you all next month. Keep writing. Keep watching horror. Keep listening. And I'll see you next time. Stay scared.